You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Lonely dead, stuck, bleeding pig. Lonely dead, shot, shoes to dead. Inside.
All right, folks. Welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My cousin bringing us back in. That's Alex Story with Cancer Slug out there. If any of y'all are wondering who's bringing us in and out of these breaks, that's he's got some good music out there, anyways. So it may offend a few people, but that's kind of what music's meant to do, ain't it? Hey, so we've got Sam Dalton here from the Machinists Union, Local 44. How you doing this morning, Sam?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, you had to get these microphones. I've got them turned down so low that to try to get out the background noise that you'll have to be right up on it. So you're one of the newest members in the maintenance in Local 44 over there. How are you liking the job?
It is very nice. It is one of the best opportunities I've been able to get in my life so far. As short as it is. It's still amazing.
It's still amazing.
Considering everything, yes.
Considering everything else. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, we're always talking about unions on the radio, constantly, right. Union. And how old are you?
23.
23. So being 23, coming out of school not long ago, you know, there's a lot of people out there that may have children listening. Right. You know, to the show, or that, you know, you may be roughly the same age as Sam, and you're thinking, you know, the job prospects are not that great for most people your age. But you were raised in a union family. Okay. He's still way too low. Will is telling me we still got some issues with audio, and I apologize, folks. This is the way it is on these on-site places. Give me a sound check over here, Sam. Just talk for 1 second. Keep going.
You're listening to the Valley Labor Report.
All right. Let's see what we got. See if that's any better. So the job prospects are not that great for a lot of the kids coming out of school, coming out of high school. They're looking at $8, $10, $12 an hour jobs.
Right.
And, you know, I don't mind talking about it because I'm very proud of what we're negotiating as far as the Machinists Union goes. But, you know, our top out's at $44 an hour.
Right.
You know, so there's very few places that's paying that. And the reason is because we negotiate collectively.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you come out of a union family, so you knew where you needed to be.
Right.
And then, so what would you say to the kids that are the young adults that's getting out of high school now, maybe considering college, which is a great thing if you want to go to college, but if you don't want to go to college, there is some alternatives there.
Yes. I would definitely consider getting in touch with IBW 558 and joining their apprenticeship program with a top out at, after 5 years completing the program, $28 and some change, employer paid, health insurance, vision, dental, $5 an hour into pension is amazing. You look at all of that together, that is a great package. And the biggest benefit of all is, of course, everyone's touched on it, the safety, the job security, and just knowing your future. I mean, nothing felt better than knowing that if somebody on the job site got upset with you and wanted you to run off, or whatever the case may be, that your future just isn't up in the air to the next time you have to negotiate your own job. You've got people to fall back on, you've got a process to fall back on, and you're going to be right back out at work. I never stayed laid off for more than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and that was over at 558.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare. It's very rare. You see a little bit that more in the trade unions than you do in the industrial unions like the Machinists Union, but there is a possibility. But even when you was laid off, you still had health insurance.
Right.
You know, I mean, where else are you going to go where the things take a downturn and they say, hey, we're gonna have to cut you loose for a little bit, And
Right.
you still get to keep your health
Right,
insurance.
yeah.
You don't have to worry about going broke
Exactly.
over things like that. So yeah, that's excellent. 558 Tony Quillen, who is the business manager over there, he does an excellent job. I can tell you, we got what, six or seven of their guys working at the plant, and
That's some of the best electricians you can work around.
you're absolutely right about that. If you want quality electricians, if you want somebody that's going to do the job right the first time, you don't have to worry about your house burning down. You don't have to worry about
Right.
I mean, truthfully,
Yes.
if you think about that it's probably one of the most consumer safe decisions that you're going to make is hiring a union electrician, because
they're trained.
yeah, you get shoddy work all the time
Right.
from non-union contractors, but you don't see that with a 558. A proof is in the pudding. When we first moved into our house, my wife was complaining about a popping noise in the bathroom, and I'm a typical male. I'm ignoring 90% of what she says, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll check into it, honey. I'll check into it. Well, I'm in the bathroom one day taking a shower, and you, being an electrician, know exactly what I'm talking about. When you hear that distinctive arc sound, the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and it was whop, and I was like, uh-oh, what in the world is that? And I get out, buck naked, walking around the bathroom trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Get dried off, as all electricians should do. We shouldn't be working on the electricity soaking wet.
Not wet.
Coming straight out of it. But the short of it is, I took everything apart. I mean, everything in the whole bathroom. Come to find out, the folks that had wired up my house had, hey, we got some airplanes coming over. The folks that had wired up my house had twisted the wires together and then taped them with electrical tape. And that wire had set inside the housing for the light fixture for so long, it had sit there mooring through. And it was burning a hole into the brass on that fixture. And I mean, from that point on, then you don't trust anything else in your house, because whoever wired that up wired the entire house up. So that is kind of speaks to what we're talking about. If you want quality work done, you want to talk to one of the 558 folks over there.
That kind of stuff is the result of fast work done cheap.
Yeah, no kidding. It's terrible, and it's dangerous. That's why that's kind of what I say when I said burn your house down. That's this stuff like that. I ain't trying to scare you, but it's the truth.
Right.
You get crappy work from these people. So, yeah, call 558. So, we talked about. You come from 558, you apprentice there, you come over here. I know you're on the off shift because unfortunately seniority lies the way it does.
Right.
How are you, how is your opinion, I would say, of the working conditions out there, coming, which you don't really, you've never worked for a non-union company, have you?
No.
So you have nothing, I mean, I'm the same way.
Right.
I worked a little bit non-union early in my life, but very little. So you have nothing to compare it to, comparatively speaking. But as far as working conditions, as far as safety on the job, things like that, even during the COVID, what's your opinion?
It's excellent. I mean, the COVID precautions, we mess with them daily to make sure they stay on top of that stuff. You've got people to fall back on whenever your safety is breaking down on the job site. That's essentially what it is. And the working conditions are great. Don't have people on your back nagging you. Whenever you're starting something new, you've got time to learn it and do it right instead of being forced and pressured into completing something quicker than you should.
Yeah. How about training? Where I know you how long have you been with us now? Maybe a year?
Just over a year.
So
a year and a week.
Yeah. What did you think about the training whenever you came in and went through 2 weeks of in the classroom, sitting there learning getting all the certs, learning everything like that?
It was excellent. It was an excellent checkup just to make sure someone doesn't come in and has the ability to operate a crane that shouldn't be operating a crane.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a serious hazard.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what your expectations are going forward. You've been here a year, you're making good money, decent health. We got a contract coming up in a year and 5 or 6 months now. What are you?
Yeah, May 22.
May of 22.
I'm very confident about it.
You feel good?
Very confident about it.
What are you hearing out on the floor as far as people? Any rumblings?
I don't hear anybody worried about it.
Nobody's worried about it. That's good.
Yeah,
that's kind of speaks.
That's great. That's like I said. That's the biggest thing is that consistency and knowing your future and it not just being a dice roll day to day, week to week. I mean, we know we have a contract negotiation coming up in May 2022.
2022.
That's when it's going to be on the wire. You can plan for it.
And we'll have surveys coming out probably in about 6 months. We normally do the surveys about 6 months, and that's one of the other things that we rarely talk about as far as what a union does for you is the fact that the negotiating committee, I've been on the negotiating committee the last 2 cycles. We distribute surveys to all the members in the entire plant, and they get to choose what's their priorities. Pay a priority, is vacation a priority?
Right, it's democratic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the union having power over your workplace. It's you having power over your workplace.
Yep, exactly. I couldn't have said that better. Have you been listening to our show?
A little bit. A little bit.
So, yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. I mean, truthfully, you hear it constantly. One of the biggest talking points when we go in and do a union campaign is you are going to cede your power to negotiate with the company to the union bosses. Have you met any union bosses since you've been in the union that come in and tell you what to do?
No. No.
I mean, I've yet to come across one of the union bosses that they keep telling us about in all of the organizing campaigns. Folks, sounds like we're coming into a break here. You're listening to the Valley Labor Report. This is David's story. Jacob Morrison will probably be sitting down with us next. Keep listening. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.